While trail cameras play an integral role in surveillance and hunting season, they sometimes manage to capture some of the most bizarre things and events that people cannot fathom in their wildest dreams. Today, we're going to show you 15 trail cam recordings no one was supposed to see. Terrifying unknown animal attacks trail cam. Trail cameras these days are mainly used by hunters to monitor woods for hunting season and hunt down game animals. These cameras frequently click some of the most surreal things and eerie happenings imaginable. This grainy image was recently posted by a Facebook page called Pennsylvania Bigfoot Investigations. While it's not uncommon for trail cams to shoot uncanny sightings, this one is rather peculiar for a couple of reasons. Trail cameras usually go unnoticed by animals. However, this unknown creature is staring right into it, as if it intends to attack it or the person on the other side of it. Many people speculate that it was a cougar, while others believe it to be a bear. An enhanced picture shows an odd eye gazing intently into the camera, and the creature seems to be standing way too close to it. Surprisingly, the eye resembles a cougar's eye only to a minor extent, which minimizes its chances of being a cougar. Several people denied these assumptions, saying it is neither a wolf nor a cougar. In fact, they deemed it to be an animal we have not discovered yet. Whether it was an undiscovered animal or a creature dwelling deep in the thick woods, it is definitely creepy and has a menacing aura. The way it knows where the trail camera is installed and how he's looking right into it is pretty unsettling. Grim Reaper. Death is often portrayed as a person or a skeleton holding a scythe. This character is part of various mythologies and tales and is known as the Grim Reaper. Pop culture, media, and even kids' cartoons have played a vital role in popularizing this dark and cruel character. Of course, it has emerged as an ominous force that reaps your soul mercilessly when the time arrives. Whether it is just a mythical being or an actual entity, it is downright spine-chilling. This trail camera snapped a Grim Reaper or perhaps a person dressed as a Grim Reaper. The time and location of this picture are unknown, so it's hard to guess if it had something to do with Halloween. When this startling image first surfaced, netizens argued that the Grim Reaper could be roaming the forest to help an animal get to the other world, whereas some thought it was a plain hoax or a prank staged to frighten the trail cam owner. There's been no further explanation given regarding this unnerving image since the release of this shot. Whatever the case was, spotting a Grim Reaper or someone dressed in the Grim Reaper's guise in the middle of a forest is outright horrifying and enough to give you the chills. Maybe trail cameras are not as good of an idea as they are made out to be, eh? Creepy clowns. Killer clowns became a sensation across the globe in 2016, when armed clowns would show up on highways, streets, and remote areas to terrorize people and make them run for their lives. There were even instances when these crazy folks would appear on house porches, follow random cars on quiet roads, and brandish their weapons to scare off children and adults alike in the dark. This trail cam footage is straight out of a nightmare, especially for those who have a deep fear of clowns. The recording dates back to September 2016 and was released from Pennsylvania. Footage shows a sinister-looking clown with a spooky grinned face walking toward the trail camera. He clearly seems to know where the cam is fitted and looks right at it for a few seconds before moving aside. One instance shows him pretty close up to the camera. This is obviously not an isolated incident. Here's another similar trail cam footage, and you would be astonished to know this was recorded long before killer clowns gained notoriety in 2016. This footage is from around 1999 or 2000. Here, we can see a clown posing in front of the trail cam in its colorful inflated clothes, plastic smile, and the usual disturbing aura around him. Nobody knows what he was doing in the middle of the forest all by himself when the nearest town was about 7 miles away. Whatever reason he was wandering there alone, the footage is enough to keep you up at night and make you extra cautious about locking the doors and latching the windows. One thing is for sure, these evil-looking clowns have been here for longer than we think. Zombie. One of the most horrifying and unexplainable things caught on trail cameras is the zombie man. This footage goes back to October 11, 2012, and was recorded somewhere in Lunenburg County, Virginia. Virginia is notorious for its vast number of bizarre occurrences that go down there. Footage reveals a scene that looks like it belongs to a zombie apocalypse movie, but with bad CGI work. A limping man can be seen moving toward the trail cam, but looking in a different direction. It gets creepier as you look into the details. The man, with his mouth parted and a raging expression on his face, looks like he is yelling, or he could be in agonizing pain. There are scars on his chest so deep that they expose his flesh and ribcage. There's blood on his chest, and his body, hair, and clothes are clearly messed up. The man does look kind of dead or a zombie who lacks any sense of his surroundings. There is not much information on this case. Nobody knows how he ended up there or where he went later, but he was definitely scary. There is a possibility an animal roughed him up, or perhaps he was beaten up real bad by fellow humans. Maybe he was escaping from someone. While all these possible theories exist, many people think it was merely a stunt pulled to gain attention. But looking at the way the guy is black and blue, we think he needs some urgent medical attention. One theory suggests this picture is taken from another image, probably a poor movie or video clip of low resolution, which is why there is a reflection of a yellow lamp visible on the left. Horrible screams. This trail camera recorded the horrendous screams of someone or something in a forest. The origins of this recording are unknown. Right after the screaming ends, two people audibly talk about how it's time to leave. We have no idea where exactly the blood-curdling screams came from or who was it, but there is a strong theory about these yells. Such hollering is associated with a chilling mythical creature called the Wendigo. The word Wendigo roughly translates to the evil spirit who devours mankind. A German explorer translated the word Wendigo to cannibal in 1960. According to a popular legend, the Wendigo is a demonic winter spirit or demon that possesses people who have engaged in the sins of gluttony, selfishness, and cannibalism. The Wendigo has been described in many ways, but they all have common traits. They are said to be giant, up to 15 feet tall, and monstrous in appearance. They are humanoid creatures that look gaunt, with pale and ash-gray skin pulled tightly over the bones. They are also known to give off the foul scent of death and decay, and will let out a loud, terrifying shriek before lunging at their prey. The Wendigo is from the legends of Native Americans from the Algonquin tribes. The same or similar creatures have been found in other cultures of Native Americans, such as the Chippewa, Ottawa, and Potawatomi tribes. The creatures of legend might have different names in these tribes, but they all have disturbingly similar characteristics to the Wendigo. The Wendigo has been seen in the colder regions of the United States and Canada, such as the forests of Minnesota, the Great Lakes region of Ontario, and other central regions of Canada. There is even a cave system in Ontario, Canada, near Lake Mamigues, called the Cave of the Wendigo, where there have been numerous sightings. The Wendigo are said to be evil winter spirits or demons, but they can also be cursed humans. It's believed strongly in the Algonquin cultures that the punishment for thoughts or acts of cannibalism, selfishness, and greed can result in someone turning into a Wendigo. Some lore states the human will be encased in ice and will sit where the Wendigo's heart should be. An important part of the Wendigo lore is its insatiable appetite for human flesh. Much like a zombie, the Wendigo never stops hunting for food and is never satisfied or full. The Wendigo enjoys the hunt and will sometimes play with its food. With every meal, it's told the Wendigo grows bigger, making it even less likely it will ever be satisfied with the amount eaten. It's said the only warning you get is the shriek it lets out before it attacks you, but even with the warning, it's often too late. It's rare anybody escapes from this creature, but those who have will go mad. Worshipper. There are countless religions in the world, but as far as we know, none of them requires its believers to worship the divine in the middle of the night at ungodly hours, unless you're worshiping ungodly religions, cults, or satanic forces. The origins of these pictures are unknown, but most people think they are pretty authentic and genuine. This trail cam clicked 2 photos 3 seconds apart. The first picture shows a man wearing a robe in the middle of an unknown forest. He is kneeling on the ground with his head down. The pose suggests he is worshiping, as many people can relate to this picture when they worship. He stays like that for a while and then gets up. The second picture depicts him standing straight and still from some yards across the trail camera. Eventually, the person leaves. His face was not visible even slightly in either picture. These images raise so many questions. Why would a sane person pray, bow, or prostrate to someone in the middle of a dark forest at nighttime? It has been speculated that he was following a satanic ritual that mandates him to pray to his satanic lord in such an eccentric way. Or perhaps he was just sleepwalking and had the tendency to do abnormal stuff in the woods. No matter what the story is behind those images, they are extremely weird and daunting. Nun in a graveyard. This far from the ordinary videotape hails from the Hull General Cemetery near Springbank in England. Although we're unsure of the time this was recorded, many people witnessed this in actuality and accounted for this flabbergasting sight. We wouldn't have been able to believe this mind-boggling affair if it wasn't for this trail camera footage. Footage shows a nun holding up a skeleton. She rocks it up and down, back and forth in a playful manner. Eyewitnesses even reported seeing a skeleton of a dog alongside the nun. What makes this sighting even more nerve-wracking is the fact that this cemetery has not been used for the last 50 years. It was established in 1847 and had a multitude of monuments and burials. One notable monument is dedicated to the memory of the cholera outbreak in 1849. The picture took the internet by storm. The nun and her suspicious actions made some people on the internet think she was a ghost and they were witnessing paranormal activity. However, this scenario has been canceled out since people saw her in the flesh. Even if she is not a spirit, the whole scene is quite perplexing. It prompts a plethora of questions and gives you goosebumps just thinking about what she could be doing utterly alone in a locked-up graveyard with the skeletons under broad daylight. Young boy. This unsettling image was shot by a trail camera in the middle of some unknown forest. A young boy is seen all alone walking in the woods at midnight. He is almost facing the camera and is quite weirdly in the center of the shot. The camera made his eyes look even brighter, adding to the spookiness of the image. There's a possibility he was sleepwalking and ended up in the woods. From the looks of it, the boy seems rather unfazed. He doesn't care about being in a forest. In fact, he's quite unbothered by the fact that he's wandering in the middle of the woods and nobody else is in sight. What do you think of the young lad? Was it a naive little boy who lost his way, or some otherworldly being masked as a little boy and is afraid of nothing? Ghost. This picture, taken from a trail camera, has unknown origins. Here, we see a ghostly apparition across the camera. A deer is staring in the distance while this ghost is looking at the deer. It is highly likely that this was nothing but a glitch in the camera. After all, these cams are not of the best quality. If the ghost is actually there, the deer is completely oblivious to the fact it is being watched. Could it be the ghost of a hunter who is longingly looking at the deer he would have hunted if he were alive? Person in a nightgown. This disturbing image shows a person in a nightgown wandering about in a forest, utterly alone somewhere in Texas. This is allegedly the same person who was wanted by the government in 2015, and his manhunt was posted online. While the details are not known, this picture is made more frightening by the fact that there is a close cemetery and footprints of bare feet have been found in close proximity. It's possible that this fugitive is enjoying life out and about in a forest and a nearby graveyard. Who knows how long his freedom would last for? Cryptid. This picture was posted online in 2021. In the far distance, across the guardrails, a mysterious creature can be seen walking past. There were all sorts of speculations, from squirrels to humanoids. Some people believe it to be a cryptid. The last resort was to consider it a skinwalker. The indigenous peoples of North America have complex cultures, stemming back thousands of years and varying widely from tribe to tribe. Some folkloric tales and myths have become increasingly well known in recent times. In Navajo culture, a skinwalker is a type of harmful witch who has the ability to turn into, possess, or disguise themselves as an animal. On the other hand, cryptids are animals that cryptozoologists believe may exist somewhere in the wild, but are not believed to exist by mainstream science. Cryptozoology is a pseudoscience, which primarily looks at anecdotal stories and other claims rejected by the scientific community. Unknown creature. This terrifying image was recovered from a trail camera left in a ravaged hunting camp. Nobody has a clue what this mysterious creature is, but it surely looks startled by its picture taken all of a sudden. What do you think it is? It looks like an all-white creature or someone wrapped in all-white sheets. The creature appears to be skinny with glowing eyes and a horrifying face with its mouth parted open. Some people think it is a humanoid. A humanoid is a non-human entity with human form or characteristics. The earliest recorded use of the term in 1870 referred to indigenous peoples in areas colonized by Europeans. Others believe it to be a cryptid, whereas a minor number of people wonder if it could be a skinwalker. Strange animal. One of the most bizarre findings from trail cam footage on our list is this mysterious animal. This picture comes from South Africa. Locals were astonished to see this strange carcass. Nobody had seen a creature like this before. It has a weird physique. The unknown animal had a long body and human-like limbs. UFO and alien fans think the dead body belonged to an extraterrestrial being, since it is unrecognizable and nobody has seen anything like it before. Natives believed it to be an animal that had been viciously cursed by someone evil. When this picture was published on the internet, it immediately became the talk of the town. Most people supported the theory, which suggested it was the body of an alien being that had come to Earth after transcending countless light years and vast space and died as soon as it entered Earth. Some people claim it to be the mummified body of a baby baboon, which is quite bizarre in itself. It could also be a cryptid, an animal that science has just not discovered yet. Bigfoot. Although Bigfoot sightings are not rare, their existence has not been proven yet. Bigfoot is also called Sasquatch and is reported to be an ape-like creature that supposedly lingers in the forests of North America. Many institutes and individuals aim to catch a Bigfoot alive to keep them safe and conserved. They also hope these animals will help further scientific research, but nobody has succeeded in capturing them yet. In 2013, trail camera owner Roger Williams captured footage of what looked like a Bigfoot. This was recorded in the mountain ranges of southwest Virginia. Roger was bewildered when he first saw the recording. When he uploaded the images to the internet, curious internet users and Bigfoot fans from around the world rushed with their opinions. Soon, the baffling photos garnered a lot of attention and became the hot potato. The pictures show an animal that looks almost like a humanoid, with a giant black body and bare arms and legs. Netizens agree it was undoubtedly a Bigfoot. However, skeptics believe it was a mangy bear upon closer examination. Mange is a skin disease that causes animals' bodies to swell up, making them look chunkier than their actual size. Hence, the bear with monstrous body and feet that could be easily mistaken for a Bigfoot. Mange is caused by parasitic bites, resulting in itching and severe hair loss. It can also cause dog paws to look like humongous feet. Sick deer. This particular footage is far from anything supernatural, yet equally distressing. This deer was recorded by a trail camera installed by the Quality Deer Management Association in America. Here we see a white-tailed deer in a forest with a very unconventional appearance. The deer looks like it is suffering from a highly critical skin disease that resulted in blisters all over its body. It also seems excruciatingly painful. Quality Deer Management Association explained that the deer is suffering from a condition called deer warts, which is actually very common among these species. The lumps are called cutaneous fibromas. They are the result of a virus called papillomavirus. Deer warts disease is neither contagious nor fatal. However, such a sight is not something you'd like to see. The Washington State Department of Fish and Wildlife describes papillomavirus as a firm, hairless, gray or black, with a smooth or rough texture that can vary in size from a pea to a football. They own the ability to grow in clusters and can be located anywhere on the animal's body. There is no broadly applicable treatment for deer warts. Nevertheless, pet deer or animals in captivity can get their large growths surgically removed, but this is not a practical solution for animals in the wild. The affected deer recover on their own with time. However, fibromas are harmless and do not influence their overall well-being. Shockingly, some deer have developed an immunity to deer warts. While it looks grotesque to us, it's just another day in the lives of deer and Mother Nature's yet another brutal way.